Hello, chat. Hello. Welcome back for another Ninja Gato interview. Today we have a very important special guest by the name of Fruitsy. So without further ado, let me introduce you to FroostyCollins. Fruitsy! Hello. Hello.
Huh?
How are you, Fruitsy? How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Doing
If you don't
alright.
mind, I'm gonna give you a little pat on the head.
You know, you're gonna pet me? Yeah, you imported me
Yeah,
into
little
your
ear
world.
scratches. Mm-hmm.
I like it. I like it. I like it a lot. So let me shout you out. So let me do exclamation point SO at FroostyCollins. Alright, Fruitsy. The way this works is my shout out module is going to take a random clip from your channel. So hopefully you have my stream still open so you can see the clip that's going on and give us more context of what's going on in this clip.
Let's see.
Goth mode. I'm T-posed.
Goth
I'm
mode
not
of
gonna do my now.
T-pose.
Cap steel pants. I'm not gonna do my dang 3D model. My arms are all akimbo.
Yeah, I don't know if I
Asserting
can.
my
Let me
dominance.
bring
You wouldn't
yours up.
understand
This
if
might
I
kill my
can.
internet, but let me do that.
That's okay. It looks like in the clip you had a goth mode and they T-posed you in the goth mode. So your stream, you have a goth mode, is what I'm learning from your clip.
I do. Yeah, I've got the goth mode is very popular. Yeah, there's
Nice.
several modes that you can transform me into.
Nice. Alright, so I'm
Is
gonna...
it the one where I'm saying I T-pose now, Dad? That's who I am.
Yeah. Yep. Alright, I'm gonna pin
Yeah,
your
every time
channel.
I get T-pose, I do a little joke that's like, "Get out of my room, Dad. I'm something that has to do with what was going on in the stream."
Yeah. Alright, so... Alright, I'm pinning your channel. So anyone who wants to investigate your offline chat can do some of the redeems that are happening right now, like you are getting pet right now. That's very cool.
Yep.
Very cool.
And anybody who types in chat gets one of these little virtual pets. A couple of people have done that.
Oh yeah, let me go say hi over there so my little orange slime comes up. Hi. Chat. There we go.
Yeah, there's your little thingy.
Yeah, there's my little slime. Alright, so as you guys can see on Fruitsy's channel, you can go, hey, thank you for the bits, Mercedes. Wow, another. I should do an interactivity for you. I will do one for you. Let me save it for after stream, but I will do one for you, Mercedes. Alright, awesome. Alright, very cool. Alright, so let me pull up my notes. So we've got... So, I have to apologize. The first time I saw your name, I said Frosties. But you're Fruitsies.
Yeah, a lot of people.
A lot of people
do
make that mistake.
I'm okay with Frosty. Like I get that one, but the one I get the most often is Froosty, which is bizarre.
Fruity? Alright, but you're Fruitsy
Froosty,
Collins.
yeah, like with the S first. It's really weird.
I gotcha. Go ahead and tell me the lore behind the name. Like, how did you come up with Fruitsy's weird puppet show?
So, there's not too much lore behind it. It's mostly a play on Bootsy Collins. And for people that aren't 1,000 years old, Bootsy Collins was a funk bass player that like played for James Brown and Parliament and George Clinton and all that. And yeah, I think I came up with it like, I don't know, like 20 years ago when I was in an internet cafe, speaking of being 100 years old. I had to join a game of Half-Life 2 Deathmatch, and so I needed to come up with a username very quickly, and I think I was just starting to get into P-Funk at the time, so that was where my brain was at. And then, like, a few minutes later, I heard somebody across the room go like, "Oh, who's Fruitsy Collins?" And they started laughing, and so one person got the reference and laughed at it, so I guess that's who I am now. So, yeah.
Oh, so this handle goes... This goes back. Like, this goes back to your Half-Life game era. Wow. So it's always been...
Yeah.
part of your history.
Yeah, and then like also so like the band that Bootsy was in, Parliament, had a lot of like world building behind their music. They had this kind of like Afrofuturism, outer space, ancient alien psychedelia kind of thing. And I always really liked the idea of like building lore around a thing and like performing as a character on stage. Because when I started seeing VTubers, that's kind of the first thing. Since I'm 1,000 years old, it reminded me of like Ziggy Stardust or like Sergeant Pepper's and stuff like that. And then like Bootsy Collins always wore like a bunch of stars, so that's why I have stars everywhere, and it's all like space stuff. And yeah, so when I was trying to think of like a persona as like a stage character and you know, building up lore around the thing that I'm performing, I think like P-Funk stuff is kind of where my brain was at. So
Nice. Yeah, Mega Mocap Man says he saw Mighty Boosh. Very deep lore. Nice, nice.
yeah, that's usually like it used to be when people would ask me who Bootsy Collins is. I would go, "Oh yeah, he's that guy that was in the Groove is in the Heart music video," and they would go, "What's Groove is in the Heart? What's a music video? I've never heard of those things because I'm not 1,000 years old." And then I would say, "Oh yeah, no, it's that guy that was in the Mighty Boosh sketch, the old Greg thing." And they go like, "I don't know what that is. Shut up, old man." So, yeah, just the march of time.
Chibi's attacking with snowballs.
Oh, I'm no longer low poly. Good.
Oh. Nice, nice. Okay.
Now
So
I can actually reach you.
yeah. So now the next question I usually ask is the hardware setup. So you have a really cool world in Unreal Engine, but can you tell us all the hardware that's required to make your stream go?
Yeah, let me bring my system information up. So, so for my processor, I've got AMD Ryzen 7 5800X. And then for my video card, I'm running a RTX 470 Super. So not like, it's not a 4090, but it's close enough. And then I've got 48 gigs of RAM. Just recently updated that. Let's see. For my microphone, I'm using a Shure M7. I'm just using the USB for that because I don't know how the physical sound engineering works, but it has an option for that,
Nice.
the analog input. And then, yeah, I'm running NVIDIA Broadcast to do the noise cancellation for that. I've got a Stream Deck, one of those 15-button ones. I'm using an iPhone for my facial capture with like live link face, which I'm pumping into Unreal Engine to drive the AR kit expressions for the character. And then I'm using a Leap Motion for the hand tracking. So, yeah, I think those are the relevant things for like Unreal and stuff.
All right, and it looks like All Red wants to know AM4 or AM5.
Let's see. I don't know.
Oh, Mun says
not...
5800X is AM4. Yeah, still a great CPU.
Okay,
yeah.
I'll take your word for it. It's just what came with my computer tower. It's yeah, I've upgraded since I got the computer tower, the RAM and the video card I just updated recently. I think it came with like a 3060 Ti, something like that.
Okay, okay. And then obviously your stream runs multiple softwares. Can you talk about all the softwares you use for your stream?
Yeah, I'm using Unreal 5.1, and then I'm using Live Link Face with my iPhone for the facial tracking, and then using NVIDIA Broadcast for the noise cancellation. And usually when I stream, I use Streamlabs, and that has some like EQ built into it. And then I'm using Twyworks, the plugin for Unreal, to do the to like take in the stuff that's happening on Twitch and make stuff happen in the environment. Somebody's asking me to pat you more, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Give you some ear scratches.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think that's all the relevant software I've got, unless I'm missing something. I'm not making use of too many other plugins. It's mostly just base Unreal,
Mm.
and then the live link stuff for the motion tracking and the Twyworks. So otherwise, it's mostly native Unreal Engine.
Nice. Nice. Okay. Awesome. Um, do you mind giving us a little tour of your environment that you're currently in? Show us around.
Yeah. So yeah, so this is the studio. It's my little magic consultation office in Technobabble City. You can see back there, little high rise in the middle of that. And yeah, we've got a lot of fun stuff you can do here. We've got a little Mandragora named Mandy on the table there. You can use the water Mandy redeemed to give her some water, and that little plant on her head will grow and bloom into a flower and make some fruit.
Mm.
Let's see, we have got the slime baby jail area over here where the slimes
Baby
hang out.
jail.
Um, yeah, that's what I started calling it. That I guess with a baby jail you have to have one of those like accordion fence kind of things, but that would block the camera, so it's not a literal baby jail. But they're pretty dumb, and so they mostly stay in that area. I don't think they know how to climb things. They've let's see, we've got our chief financial officer up there, Padlock, that mimic there. Oh, thank you for watering Mandy. Oh, we missed it, but yeah, Mandy does appreciate that. Megamocap says when you get to Baby Jill, you have to throw up someone your first day. I see. Throw up on someone. Yeah, as a power play, I guess. Yeah, we've got my space base over there, that little star guitar. A lot of witches use brooms, but I'm kind of, I didn't learn how to use magic so that I could clean, so I decided to go with a bootsy base.
Nice.
I can actually go into free cam mode to show you around a little more.
Is that Boom creeping in the
freely.
corner?
That is Boom creeping in the corner. We've got Noodlecat does things as well.
Oh.
We've also got Noodlecat and Boom up here on our friend shelf. When somebody that I know that was kind enough to give me their 3D model types in chat, it'll like zoom over there and zoom in on who was typing. As a little feature. And yeah, this is our chief financial officer, Padlock, who is a mimic, but that doesn't define him. He handles the numbers. This is what Mandy looked like during Spooky Month. We had a pumpkin variant of her. This is our Gachapon machine, and you can use a redeem to get a figurine from an old video game and decorate my desk over there. We've got my Starlight Greatsword, because everybody needs a sword, I think. Let's see, we've got some video games over here. I don't know if it'll work while I'm not streaming, but normally if you click on my screen, we have the heat extension. It lets you click on stuff to like get little sound bites from things.
Okay.
I'm not sure. It probably doesn't work while I'm streaming.
Yeah, you're offline.
Yeah, we've got my cauldron, which displays what I'm working on. And we've got some paintings that we use to teleport to different areas when we want to race the slimes together. We got 2 race courses that we teleport between. We've got my swear jar, which I moved out of the way to make room for you and Mandy. And then we've got a little VMU here. We've got my laptop Ornomicon that I do my work on. That I have like painting that I'm working on over here. And yeah, that's kind of what we got going on. Let me get out of free cam mode and see if things crash. Okay, no, we're good.
Yep. Okay. This seems very inspired by certain IPs. Like I could see like your teleportation. That definitely gives me a feel of Mario 64, right?
Yeah, that was kind of the idea of like, how can I convey going to another place while using the least effort possible? And so I figured we would just like fly over to the paintings, and then the screen turns to white, and then we go ba 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 ba, and then we go over to wherever we need to go.
Miss Nintendo 64. Mercedes Webb, thank you for another 10 biddies. I owe you an interactivity. Once I debut those interactivities in my 3.0, I will give you some for free. Nice.
Yeah. And when you cheer in my stream, the slimes like play a little like birthday blower and make like a little kazoo noise. And Mercedes Web does that quite often. So I don't know if she's trying to get that to happen, but yeah, that's not going to happen.
Mercedes says water Mandy.
Oh
Demanding
yeah,
you.
Mercedes, you're gonna have to use the redeem for that to work in my chat.
Is that a channel point? Maybe I've farmed up enough to do it. Maybe I could do it. Let me see if I can do it.
Yeah, I don't think people are gonna earn channel points when I'm not streaming, unfortunately. But if people have stuff left over, oh, I think we got a boom hat. There we go. Yeah, we have several hats that are references to other Unreal streamers. This is kind of my favorite one. It's boom.
Oh, I think there's the water Mandy. All right, I'm gonna do it. Water. Took me a while to find it. Water Mandy.
There we go.
Okay.
Yeah, you can see a little flower starting to grow there. Eventually, that will spawn a random fruit that goes over to the baby jail, and the slimes can chomp down on that. Oh, and now I got a tiny hat. Oh,
Alright.
somebody's buying a
Yep.
gotcha.
Chibi wanted to see the gacha game, so I redeemed the gacha game.
Oh, we got a Mario, and
Oh, I
its
got a
textures
Mario.
aren't loaded in yet. There they go.
Oh, nice.
Oh, I
Little
have
amiibo.
too many material instances. There he goes.
Yeah, that's my Mario 64. What a cute little world you have. Okay.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Nice, nice. Well, thank you for the tour. Let's ask you some questions
Absolutely.
related to your channel. You have a very unique and interactive stream environment built on Unreal Engine. What initially inspired you to take this approach to streaming?
So, I had a little bit of experience with Unreal Engine for one of my previous jobs. I was involved in virtual production, so using Unreal to do. Oh, thank you for following, Allred. I appreciate that. Where was I? Oh yeah, so we were doing virtual production, which is instead of doing green screen, you have like a video wall behind the actors, and you project an environment that you're rendering in a game engine like Unreal. And what we were doing was like motion tracking the cameras so that if you move the camera in real life, it moves the camera in the virtual environment. And so, ow, somebody just threw fruit at me. Might be hard to focus for me to focus, just warning you, with all this stuff going on. But yeah, basically we make it so that when you move the cameras IRL, the background moves with like all the parallax and stuff to make them look like they're in the environment. So I was learning how to do like live link and motion tracking stuff through that. And so I was looking up a lot of tutorials on how to do that kind of thing, and I think I stumbled upon one of Woody Dev's, friend of the show's, tutorials on how to set up live link stuff. And I was like, oh, who's this cat with dots for eyes? I'm immediately interested. And he was like talking about using Unreal for like interactive stuff with like Twiworks and things. And so I joined his Discord community to ask some like troubleshooting questions. And then I think eventually he announced that another streamer, Pumpkin Potion, was debuting a Unreal Engine-based environment that Woody helped put together. And so I watched her premiere, and I was really like blown away because her environment is goth mode.
Nice.
Thank you, whoever did that. Yeah, this mode's very popular among certain people. Let's see. So yeah, Pumpkin Potion has this like 1920s cartoon, like Fleischer era kind of thing going, and she has like a spooky mansion. And so the premiere was like showing off this like full 3D environment, and there were multiple areas that she could go to, and there was like camera work and everything. And I was like kind of blown away by all that, like the idea of instead of just having like a VTuber like pasted on top of like whatever game or art you're making, you could actually have like a little 3D space that you can invite people to. And I just found that idea very compelling. And so I had the Unreal Engine experience already, and I knew how to use like live link and motion tracking. And then I had this 3D model sitting around already because I used to primarily be an illustrator. And this character was a character I drew a lot as like kind of my mascot. And so I had a 3D model for that I made just for fun a few years prior, and so I'm like, I'm gonna go ahead and try this whole Unreal VTubing thing, and so I got the model game ready, and I shoved the Unreal mannequin skeleton into there, and I brought it into Unreal, and got live link face put together. And thank you for taking my glasses, whoever did that. But yeah, I put AR kit expressions on it, and yeah, it just sort of went from there. Basically, everything in here I modeled because it's stuff that I would like to have in my apartment in real life, but it's either too expensive or it's not physically possible to have it exist. So I would 3D model it and just make this the coolest, most inviting space that I could. And yeah, it just sort of went from there.
All right, so you already had a background in Unreal from working previous job, and you have experience being an illustrator. So you are used to doing stuff in 3D environments and 3D stuff.
Yep.
And you've saw some other VTubers that inspired you. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I just like the idea of having like a little space that I can invite people to and just kind of make them feel like they have like a physical presence here. So yeah, that was the main appeal of using Unreal Engine rather than like a Vignon or a Warudo or something like that. Although I think in Warudo and Vignon you can do things like this with a not quite as much freedom as you have with Unreal Engine, but yeah.
Oh, Chibi's saying maybe one of the next redeems, you gotta change your hairstyle. Is there two different hairstyle redeems?
Well, you can change my hair color, but yeah, I don't have like different models for different hairstyles. But that is something that I could look into. Yeah.
Nice. All right, so you're
Sorry, the slimes are being very loud over there. They can learn how to play little songs and stuff. So
nice. All right, you've been using Unreal way more than I have. What are some of the biggest challenges and rewards of using Unreal for your Twitch channel?
I guess the biggest challenge is just sort of kind of a lack of like a lot of formal experience using Unreal. Because at work I was sort of learning by the seat of my pants. I was like the one person doing like the research and development for that stuff. So it's mostly like learning through YouTube tutorials and like piecing together bits of knowledge here and there. So a lot of the challenge is just comes from inexperience. But some other challenges are just, with motion tracking, there's always some jank. When I started implementing the slimes, I have a lot of challenges sometimes getting the slimes. Like if we want to go over to the slime cam and I want to feed a slime a fruit or something, sometimes it's hard to interrupt what they're currently doing to get them to react to something. So like they'll keep walking around when they're supposed to be eating a fruit or interacting with something. But yeah, other than that, it's been very rewarding to basically have a ton of freedom to basically make whatever I want as I can learn how to do it, as long as I can learn how to do it. And yeah, yeah, so I think I'm starting to ramble, so.
No, that's fine. And what are some of the rewards of using Unreal for your channel?
Yeah, the rewards are just sort of like having the freedom to make things look however I want, be able to make any interactive stuff that I want to happen, and I'm really, the only limitations are really just what I've learned how to do, and as I'm developing the stream, I'm learning like as I go and making things more advanced and less janky. So yeah, it's just been, and also one of the things that's been really rewarding is the community that of like Unreal VTubers that we've got that you're a part of. People like Boom and Mega Mocap and Woody Devs and Noodle Cat does things and Riku VR.
Family.
I think
yeah,
the
we are
community...
fam.
Oh, I'm no longer goth. Good. Because I think this has been a very nice community, mostly because if somebody wants to use Unreal Engine for streaming, I think they tend to skew a little bit older and a little more professional, and they tend to be kind of like tinkerers by nature. And so I think that really fosters like a nice, like mature, mature might be putting it too strongly, but just like a very, very nice kind of older community of people to hang out with and like other professionals that want to help collaborate with each other and teach people how to do things that they're interested in getting to work. So
Mega
yeah.
Mocap wants to know, are you calling him old?
I'm a lich, and so I'm around, I think about 6,000 years old. I mean, they keep changing the calendars, so like it's kind of hard to keep track of my actual age. But yeah, I don't think anybody here is older than I am, so if that makes you feel better, Mocap.
Gotcha. Your channel bio mentions you love teaching people. Do you have plans for any future tutorials or workshops on VTubing or Unreal Engine?
Yeah, I have a few of them on my. If you go to YouTube and search for FroostyCollins, like the same username, I've got some tutorials on how to use Twyworks, how to get like channel redeems working and like commands and things. Um, so I think what I've got there so far is kind of where my stopping point is because I want to make sure that with tutorials I'm providing people with information that isn't already out there in a bunch of other tutorials. And since I'm still like kind of a beginner-ish hobbyist, um, I feel like the one thing that I know how to do that's not like widely available out there is specifically the Twyworks stuff and getting that up and running and using Unreal specifically for VTubing things. So yeah, if I were to make more tutorials or workshops, it would generally be based on demand. Like if somebody asks me how they can do something similar to what I'm doing, I'd be happy to like sit down with them and talk about that one-on-one. And if there's enough demand for a specific topic, I could put together a tutorial about it. I just want to make sure that like it helps enough people because putting together a tutorial is very time consuming, and it's kind of a niche thing that we're trying to do. So it's not like you get big numbers by posting a tutorial like that. But you know, if it helps even one person, that's good enough for me. So.
Yeah, and it's not like there's a huge community of us Unreal Engine VTubers.
Yeah,
It's
if
not
I can
huge
prevent
demand.
like, because a lot of times when you're developing things, you can spend like hours pulling your hair out getting something to work, and you have no idea why it's not working. And if I can help people avoid that shit that I'm sorry if I'm not allowed to swear on here. I don't know
No,
what
you
your
can
policy is when it
swear.
comes
It's
to that.
fine. It's fine.
Okay. Okay. Shit. Fuck. Shit. Piss. Anyway, I need to get that. I swear quite a bit on my channel, so I always have to be careful when I'm outside of my own community. But yeah. What was I gonna say? But yeah, if I could prevent people from going through the same kind of headaches that I had to go through, like that's my main motivation for putting together like tutorials and answering people's like tech questions. So yeah, if you're ever on my stream and you want to know how to do something, just go ahead and ask me, and I can't promise that I'll know how to do it, but I'll do my best to at least point you in the right direction and help you figure out how to do what you want to do. So yeah.
Yeah. Mega Mocap says, "Oh, I've spent all morning trying to get VR inputs working. There's no hope."
Oh yeah, for anybody that's interested in doing what I'm doing, or like any of the other Unreal Engine VTubers, Mega Mocap VR has a project in Unreal Engine. If you search Mega Mocap VR on a search engine, it'll pop up, and it's like a GitHub with this like entire sample project in Unreal Engine that has a bunch of modules and components built up for taking in iPhone stuff, taking in Leap Motion stuff. Like my hand tracking wouldn't work without the help that Mega Mocap's project gave me, and like figuring out how to actually take the information in from the hardware and translate it to like controlling what my character's doing. So if you're looking into doing that personally, that's a really good resource. Even if you just want to use it as like as a learning tool, like looking through how he accomplished those things. Yeah, thank you, Mocap. I really appreciate that. Yeah, the hand tracking would not be possible without that. Sorry, the slimes are being loud again.
Yeah,
They
they
play
have it.
songs for like old video games. So.
Speaking of the slimes, let's talk about them. The slime game on your channel seems to be intricate, incredible, and engaging. Can you tell us how you came up with the concept and what are the goals for the slimes?
So, originally, the slimes were not even going to be a virtual pet system. It was literally just to get somebody's, like, username on the screen represented by something, like a little avatar. Because I want people to, like, feel like they're in the space and interacting with it in some way. Because, like, my whole motivation for doing using Unreal Engine for the stream was to create, like, a physical space that we can all kind of share together. And so originally they were just going to be little goobers that just bounced around as a means of having a person's username on stream. But eventually people started treating them as like their own little guys, their own pets, and people wanted to be able to name them and stuff. And so I decided to like, let people customize their color and like pet them and put equipment and stuff on them. And it started to feel more like a virtual pet system than just an avatar system. And so I decided to run with that. I started looking into one of the games I'm really nostalgic for is like the Sonic Adventure games, and they have this little virtual pet side game called the Chow Garden. And so when I was trying to figure out how what features to put on these little guys, I looked at what you could do in the Chow Garden and figured like what features from this could work in like a semi-passive like multiplayer environment. Because I think a lot of people engage with Twitch, like they have it on their second monitor while they're doing something else. So I didn't want to have things that were like time-based or required a lot of attention and something that would just like happen ambiently in the background and like people can engage with it when they feel like doing that. So yeah, a lot of it was just like nostalgia for the Chow Garden and wanting to make my own version of it. And just making people feel like they have like a physical presence and influence on the environment. Mega Mocap saying his slime has an amazing KD ratio. Mega Mocap, the slimes are, they can't hurt each other. This is a magical place where nothing bad happens, so don't listen to Mega Mocap. He's trying to pivot it into like a PvP arena kind of
Oh,
thing.
really? I could see his slime and it's got a katana, I think, or a little sword.
Yeah, he's ready to go.
He's ready
Yeah,
to
there's
go.
all kinds of like pieces of equipment that you can put on the slimes, like hats and swords and shields and stuff. So yeah.
Some slimes have gone missing, some come back different. True, Mega Mocap.
Yeah. Mega Mocap always wants to turn the stream into something much darker, so which I do appreciate.
Nice. Oh no, that's a new song.
Sorry, they're very noisy.
Yep. What has been your response from your viewers to the slime games? Has there been any unexpected ways they've interacted with it?
Yeah, I mean, it's been surprisingly positive because, like, I wasn't sure, because whenever I design stuff for the stream, it's generally, like, very self-indulgent, like, just designing for myself. It's not like I've got, like, I'm putting a focus group together and, like, figuring out what's the most marketable thing, what are people looking for? So it's really just, like, what I want to see. But yeah, it's really like surprising and gratifying that like other people tune in and enjoy the same like weird stuff that I'm into. And yeah, as far as like unexpected things, a lot of times people are like pushing the boundaries of like what you can do with the redeems. Like especially like other Unreal developers try to come in and like break things by like doing a bunch of stuff with the slimes that I like might not have anticipated and trying to create like conflicts of code and stuff.
That's hilarious.
So that's yeah. Yeah, they're always like, oh, what happens if I try to evolve my slime during a race? What if they're an egg while they're eating something? It just dumb shit like that.
I would never. That was
But
nervous.
yeah, there's. Sorry, were you saying something?
Now Beppo's nervous,
I
so then
interrupted you.
Mega Mopecap said, "I would never. Always try to break things,
Yeah,
aka
absolutely
quality
not.
control. Yeah, like, yeah,
Yeah. It's just like it's like yeah. I'm like Bethesda. I put the product out there, and then I have people play test it for me. I don't have to pay them a dang thing.
mhm.
But yeah, as far as like unexpected things go, a lot of times like things that happen seemingly randomly, as far as like what I coded the slimes to be able to do, you get like little emergent gameplay things coming out of it. Like one of the things that can happen if slimes like bounce into each other, there's a random chance that one of them will lay an egg, and it will mix the usernames and the body colors together to create like a little kid slime. And so sometimes there's some fun like little stories that come out of that. People will. I think we had this one time where somebody in my chat named Cappy was kind of playing Baldur's Gate 3 at the same time they were watching my chat. So they were going AFK quite a bit and lurking. And his slime had a kid slime with somebody else's, and the other person
Nice.
was like, "Where's my husband, Cappy?" And I was like, "I think Cappy's lurking. I think they're playing some Baldur's Gate 3." And we had like this whole narrative about Cappy slime being a deadbeat dad and going like, it's like, oh, Cappy just went out for smokes. He'll be back. You'll see.
Good to go get
It's
milk.
just stuff like that. And yeah, and like another thing that happens is that people will we have a thing called slime races where slimes can like race against each other to get prizes, and sometimes people will rename their slimes into like insulting things to shame them for winning races and stuff like that. So just like little emergent stories come out of like seemingly random gameplay things.
All right, and speaking of the slimes, do you have
And
any?
yeah, as far as unexpected things, like I was saying, it wasn't even going to be a virtual pet system until people started interacting with them as if they are pets. So like, yeah, a lot of the directions these little guys have developed in has been because of how people have like unexpectedly interacted with them.
Yeah, I think that's cool because that means that your community has buy-in to your project and it's changes and they help steer part of the direction. So definitely makes them feel connected and part of your community. So I commend you on that. That's a great move on your part.
Yeah, definitely. Like, just having the live feedback is really nice. Oh, somebody giving their little bean a pat on the head.
Nice. All
But
right.
yeah, it's just really cool to get like the live feedback, and sometimes we can do like live, kind of technical support to fix things up. And yeah, it's just because I want people to feel like they have like a real sense of presence in the space, because I think that's one of the advantages to using like a game engine to do live streaming, is that you can invite people into a little world and have them feel like they have a place in it. Oh yeah, Allred, you can use the change your slime color redeem to make them any color you'd like. You could put a hex code in there. I'm guessing you might like red based on your name.
Nice.
But yeah,
Oh, and I missed Mild's comment. He says, but breaking things is fun. And then Allred also commented, just ask Miko. Yeah, we break things in the Code Miko community as much as possible,
yeah, the
just because of
most
fun.
the most like quote unquote beta testing I get is from other people that use Unreal Engine to do VTubing, because you'd think if somebody were a fellow Unreal Engine developer, they would have like empathy for the other
No.
person
No.
that's like live trying to do that in real time. But no, quite the opposite actually. It seems to make them more likely to want to fuck shit up. So
No, like we have pent up
which I
frustration.
appreciate so much.
We have pent up frustration from it happening to us in our stream. So once we see we can do it to somebody else, we let it all out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I just put a cooldown on my on my T. Actually, no, I disabled the T pose for this because I figured people were going to be doing it every 3 seconds to show off for company. And yeah, I put a cooldown on the low poly mode just to keep me kind of on model during an interview with new people.
All right. Do you have any plans to add new features or expand the functionality of the slime game in the future? What's upcoming for the
Yeah,
slimes?
we're working on a fishing mini game. Actually, I can actually show it off. We've got kind of a beta version of it. Let's see. I'm gonna have to go into my chat to trigger it. So it'll just take 1 second.
Okay.
Actually, hopefully it works in this environment.
Alright, Gatos,
Because
go click the pinned channel and go into Fruitsy's chat, and you can play Fruitsy's fishing game. So what do we have to do? What are we doing here? How do we do this?
So if you type !play into my chat, your slime will show up in front of one of these little fishing rods. Oh, thank you for following.
Yeah, go over
Yeah,
there,
remind me
guys.
to
Go type !play. I'm gonna do it because I want to play. So I'm gonna do !play. All red say.
There you go. There's all red's little one. Yeah, we've got 3 spots available. Looks like split fires in there. Okay, cool. We have 3 slimes. So if you type !cast, you can cast your line, and if you type
Alright, here we go.
!reel, you can reel it in. So it would be I'll type it in your chat, cast and reel. And when you get a bite from a fishy, you can type reel and bring a fish in.
How do we know it got a bite?
You'll see like the little splashes on where your line fell into the water.
Oh,
I think everybody's getting
everybody's
a
got a
bite
bite right now. Okay,
There
so
you
we
go.
need to reel it in, otherwise we're gonna lose our fish.
Oh man, it was just there we go. It didn't load the fish textures for a second.
There we go. We caught fish. Oh, nice. We can cast again, right?
Yeah, you can keep doing that.
All right, let me go cast again. Let me do this.
So yeah, this is like we've got like the core functionality going. Eventually, what I want to do is keep track of how many fish everybody's catching, like within a time limit, and then once the time runs out, we pick a winner based on how many they caught, and that person will get to choose one of the fish that they caught, and we'll put it in a little fish tank that's back in the near the baby jail.
Nice.
And yeah, we'll have like a little growing aquarium with a bunch of fish in it that you can feed and stuff.
Oh, looks like All Red's got a big one. Nice, All Red. Good catch, good catch. Split fires, good cast. Oh wait, I have one. I need to reel it in. Exclamation point, reel.
Yeah, we're
in
gonna have a bunch of
Fruitsy's.
different. We're gonna have a bunch of different species, and those species will have like color
Nice.
and like size variants and rarities and stuff. So I want to make it like a full-fledged like fishing game. But yeah, right now it's still sort of in its basic stages.
No, it's pretty good so far. Oh. Nice. Oh, All Red got a way bigger fish than I got. Alright, cool. That was fun. Do you have a fishing license? Is this illegal? It's fine. It's in the virtual world. Mega Mocap.
I think one of the I'm gonna fix one of the slimes real quick because I think that that mode is a little bit buggy. Let's see. So whose slime is? You can see that red slime is sort of stretched out. Let me see if I can fix them. I'm trying to figure out which one it is.
Oh yeah, split fires on
that's
top of
split
me.
Fires. Yeah, let me. I can reset the slime real quick.
Ooh. Goop is pretty badass looking.
Oh yeah, Goop is a Seraph slime. So slimes can evolve into different forms, and so yeah, there we go. So we fixed the animation on a split fire's little one. Sorry about that.
Oh wait, we can evolve?
Yeah, if you use the evolve your slime redeem, you can feed them little bits of fruit that will raise their stats and make them evolve into different forms. We're getting a little bit of lag here. So whenever I go into free cam like this, I'm kind of yanking control away from Unreal and doing a debug camera, and sometimes it doesn't like that. So we might be frozen for like a couple of seconds.
Yep.
So.
Okay. Let me ask you, what's the fastest way to get my slime to be on brand and be a cat?
Oh yeah, you can use the slime, evolve your slime redeem, and feed them feisty fruit. We have a couple of different fruit forms, and so that will give them feisty points. And when you get that up to 10 points, it'll evolve them into a kitty slime. And so that'll be, I think that's the best way to get yours on brand quickly.
Oh, nice, nice. So your slimes can be more attuned to who you are. So let me see. Where was that? That is...
Yeah, I can actually show a chart of the different evolutions that we've got on my main screen here. So this is the first stage of evolutions. So it kind of shows you can evolve into one of these 5 forms by getting one of their stats up to 10. And so we have like 5 different stats you can raise. So yeah, kitty slime would be feisty fruits. He could also be a square slime or a long slime or a steel slime or a skull slime. And there's multiple stages. So once you are a stage 1 evolution, we've got like a second stage where you can evolve into any one of these ones. And then we have a third stage that we just added. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I'm feeding myself with feisty fruit. Nice. Alright.
Yeah, and in my chat, it should tell you how many feisty points you've got. You probably got 1 at the moment.
1 at the moment.
But yeah, we just added a third stage of evolutions, and so these black ones are ones that haven't been discovered yet. There are 56 different slime forms, like overall, with all those stages. So,
God, this is so much thought and development. Holy cow.
Hopefully that keeps people busy for a while, because every time I add another stage of evolutions, there's 5 different fruits. So that means for every existing slime form, I need to add 5 new ones. And so that can balloon up very quickly. So hopefully 3 stages of evolutions is enough for everybody.
Beppa wants to know why slimes?
Because they're easy to model. Is pretty much what it, but yeah, everything in here is sort of like kind of pulling from like witchcraft and like old RPGs and stuff. So we've got our mimic CFO padlock. We've got a ghost flying around named Whisper. Hi, Whisper. We've got a mandragora. And so I think slimes just were naturally like a good choice as like the basic like first monster that you run into in like Dragon Quest or what have you. I figured the slimes, again, the slimes are easy to model. They're just a sphere that I squished a little bit. But they're also very malleable in terms of like what shapes I can turn them into. Like if they were cats, it would be hard to transform a cat into like a tank or whatever. Like it would that would be some body horror that I don't think would be quite as cute. But yeah, and I always just liked slimes. I've always thought that they were cute.
Splitfire says the slime rancher is real. True. This is slime rancher. And then
Yeah,
All Red wants to know, Whisper, is that any relation to Casper?
Not sure where Whisper. Oh yeah, he's up there in the corner. Sorry, I should say they, because Whisper started haunting the place around Spooky Month last year, also known as October, and Whisper is just sort of a placeholder name because they kind of just float around and they don't talk or anything. We haven't made direct contact with them. I think they're just sort of like briefly intersecting with our dimension. But yeah, that's so. I don't know very much about Whisper at the moment. Yeah, I don't know what their pronouns are. I don't know what their actual name is, but they're cute and transparent, so I kind of just let them hang around. Yeah, the closest thing to contact that we've made with them is when they pass through you, it feels very cold. But other than that, we haven't made direct contact.
Yeah, Splitfire was thinking he's more of a shy guy. And Megamocap says, someone update the wiki. Bebo still wants to know, he says, why slimes instead of blobs or some other objects? Slimes like Slimer the ghost?
Yeah, I kind of just like slimes, and yeah, it's easy to like morph slimes into different forms. So I kind of just yeah, I've always just had affection for little art, like Japanese RPG monsters, and like what if instead of killing them for XP, what if we had them as little friends? So yeah, that was I think slimes are just like the first thing you run into, and so I think that was kind of a natural choice for like the basic thing that you start off as here.
Yep. Well, I will say, like in a lot of RPG games, yeah, it's usually a slime that you attack in the early levels, and they too evolve and get stronger and become a lot more diverse in their capabilities as they evolve. So
Yeah, like in Dragon Quest, they have they have cure slimes and king slimes and metal slimes, and so yeah, they're just like as Dragon Quest has proved, they're very marketable and very malleable. So I thought they were just kind of a natural thing, like mascot for the channel.
yeah, why not both? Says Mega Mocap. Not sure. Not sure. Yeah, whereas me, I'm cat.
Mega Mocap always asking those hard questions.
Yeah. Or my branding is all cats, so if you hate cats, you're not gonna like my channel. Whereas yours is can grow.
No, we like cats here. That's why I'm giving you little head scratches.
Nice.
Hopefully, I'm not overstepping my boundaries. Giving you
No,
head
I love
scratches.
attention. I love attention.
Okay, good.
So. Cool.
I should have turned their volume down for this interview, I think, but yeah, sorry about that.
All right, let's get to some technical questions here. Man, they are jamming out.
Yeah.
Given the complexity of your stream environment, can you walk us through a typical workflow of preparing for stream?
Yeah, so I guess because everything in here is modeled in Blender, and so my typical workflow. Let's see if I can actually get something open in Blender here. I'm doing some desktop capture. So my typical workflow is like modeling something and then like UV mapping it and rigging it and then importing it in a Unreal Engine and just like building the materials for it and then doing the blueprinting for it. Let's see if I can get one of the slimes up here. Oh yeah, this might be a good example. So every month we have an exclusive item that we allow the slimes to equip. How come I can't see this?
Exclusives.
Yeah, I can't find... Oh, it's just very tiny. There we go. Okay. And then let me turn Matt Cap off. Yeah, so my birthday is in June, so for June we did party hats for all of them. So the basic workflow is just like modeling it, and then you have to do something called the UV mapping, which is like laying all of the all the surfaces to like a 2D plane so that you could like paint a texture in it. And then if it's something that needs to be animated, we rig it and do the animations. And then I do the texturing in a program called Substance Painter. So it's basically like Photoshop, but for painting 3D models. And then I get all of that stuff and bring it into Unreal Engine, into the content browser. And yeah, just build the materials. Yeah. So pretty basic workflow as far as like asset creation. I don't know if I was answering the question the way you were expecting, but thank you for following, mild-mannered.
Yeah, no, I think it was more the workflow to get your stream up. Like for me, I have to like get Unreal up. I have to. Man, they are jamming out.
Thank you for watering me. Okay, so to get the stream set up, yeah. So I stream using Streamlabs, so I get that built up. I have a suite called NDI for Unreal Engine, which is one of the things that I use to get stuff into the environment as far as like desktop capture and webcam capture, which is how I was able to bring you into the environment here. It's like a plane in the environment with your webcam feed kind of applied to it. And then we've got desktop capture on the plane over there. And so I have to get that set up. I have to make sure that Live Link Face is ready on my phone. And it's pointed towards me in such a way that like, if I'm looking at my second monitor, I'm looking toward the screen, and if I look at my first monitor, I'm looking towards the camera from that angle. So it's a lot of like little adjustments to motion tracking devices. I get my Leap Motion set up and make sure that's placed correctly. I have to make sure that my face and my hands are lit correctly. And I have to make sure that Flyworks is running and that we're connected to the server and it's got all the credentials and stuff. I run my stuff in the editor, so if you've seen stuff in the environment with like a gray checker box pattern before it loads in all the way, that's because I'm running it in the editor. If you actually bake a project out into a like an exe, it doesn't do that. But yeah, I run in the editor because it's easier to like troubleshoot stuff. Like if somebody equips a hat on their slime, and it looks bad, like the placement, we can just like close the editor, we can close the environment, and then hop into the Unreal editor and like make those changes, and then just like pop it back up. So yeah, and then I've got my stream deck set up that I can use to change my cameras, and make some stuff happen in the environment, like we could turn the lights off, turn them back on. So yeah, just a lot of prep work. Hopefully that gives some idea of what I need to do before like firing the stream up.
Well, it's definitely got more complexity than mine, for sure. Okay. Unfortunately, we do need to take an ad break. Let's give you another technical question. What advice would you give aspiring VTubers who are interested in incorporating interactive elements into their streams?
So, I guess I would give different advice depending on like where they're at. If somebody's like watching one of our streams and is interested in like whether they can use Unreal Engine for their own streams, I would say not to discourage anybody from using it, but it is like the most complicated like solution for VTubing that you can choose. So like just know what you're getting into. Because you're not like Unreal's not a VTubing program. It is software for developing your own VTubing program, if that makes sense. So to get things up and running to the level that you would that you can with like Vignon or Waterdo or what have you, you're gonna have to put in a lot more legwork to get those like basic things to work. Like you're gonna have to like build your own animation logic and build your materials and get the AR kit expressions to drive morph targets and stuff. So you do have a lot of you have a lot more flexibility, but the consequence of that is that you need to reinvent the wheel quite a lot. Let's see. Mild-mannered nerd is saying, what piece of software or hardware would you say is detrimental to the setup? I guess just running everything on one computer is probably the biggest thing. I know a lot of VTubers use multiple computers, but I just can't be bothered because the setup's complicated enough as it is. So sometimes it is difficult to like run the streaming software and then run the environment at the same time. So we get lag spikes sometimes. But let's see. So that's for people that literally haven't opened Unreal Engine. Let's see. So for people that are using Unreal Engine and they're learning how to use it and still kind of consider themselves beginners, I would say YouTube tutorials are a great way to start. Like getting used to the program and moving around in it. I would recommend that once you get to a like level where you're comfortable moving around the program and doing blueprinting and like creating events and stuff, I would take a more formal course in Unreal. Like if you go on Udemy, there are like 30-40 hour courses on like how to actually build an entire game from start to finish in Unreal, and I think that's really valuable because YouTube tutorials have a couple of problems that might teach you bad habits because they're usually made by hobbyists, mine included. So they might not do things very efficiently. Like I see plenty of tutorials that like hook stuff into event tick when they shouldn't. Using delay nodes everywhere when they should be using timers. So YouTube tutorials are good for learning one specific thing, but definitely always take them with a grain of salt. But what a full course is going to do is teach you the things like How should you structure your project overall? What classes should inherit from each other? When should you use a data table for something? When should you use a struct for something? And a lot of times YouTube tutorials are not going to give you that bird's eye view stuff and like how to incorporate the thing they're teaching you how to do like holistically in your project. I think Stephen Ulibarri has some really good courses on Udemy, and so what I would do is like bookmark one of those and keep checking in to see if it goes on sale, because Udemy courses go on sale for like 90%, so you can pick up like a full 60-hour course for like $1 pretty much. So I would do that. And then some things that will help you specifically for VTubing environments, I think, would be structures, data tables, interfaces, and just like basic like classes inheriting from each other. Because if you're taking in input from like Twyworks or what have you, one of the things you're going to need to do is have a bunch of different actors respond to the same Twitch message in your scene. So if you set up an interface for that, all of your different classes that respond to Twitch can use your Twyworks like manager, whatever your actor is for that. Won't have to know a bunch of things about what those actors are doing. You can just say, hey, react to Twitch and or react to a message, and then they can all take care of that on their own, because you want to make you don't want a bunch of actors like taking over the responsibilities that other actors should be having. They should all be kind of modular. And let me see. Somebody was asking what a good
What are your must-have
Blender.
Blender add-ons, says Splitfire?
Yeah, two of them I use quite a bit are Auto Rig Pro, which is really nice. It's a paid program, but it's really good for getting a character ready for Unreal, like kind of mannequin skeleton. Which it's very useful to have your character have like the same like bone hierarchy and stuff as like the basic Unreal mannequin, because a lot of asset packs that you're going to download for like animations and stuff are going to be built for that. So it's really helpful to have your character have that same basic bone structure, because then things will retarget a lot more smoothly. And so AutoRig Pro can do that for you. It can export your rig in a way that's just going to work in your engine well. Another one I use quite a bit is called UV Squares. What it will do is when you're UV mapping, oh my god, the slimes are being loud. Sorry about that. But yeah, it will take your UVs and make them into a grid that will make it a lot easier to paint when you bring it into like a painting program. So those two help me out quite a bit. Oh.
Yeah, and then
So
Beppo made a comment.
hopefully that was a very meandering answer, but hopefully that helps some people.
No, you got some good add-ons there, or good plugins. For what Fruity is talking about, Boom is probably the worst because she's 100% self-taught. Some people can learn from the tutorials. I will agree that with a curriculum base, there has been a well thought out logical plan to what they're going to teach you in what sequence. Whereas in YouTube, you could just get lost on certain things, and there are bad tutorials out there that teach you bad habits to like hard code stuff and not making it as if.
And I don't want to be like an elitist with that. Like YouTube is a great place, because you don't need to have like the most optimized project in the world. Like you don't have to like min-max everything, but I would just recommend a course because it will help you make like helpful decisions early on that will speed up development time down the road, make it a lot easier to add new features and classes without like giving yourself a headache later. Like when I started building up my stream, I was definitely just using YouTube tutorials, and I didn't really know too much about what I was doing. And the problem now is that I've learned how to do a lot more than I did back then, but I still have to build off of like underlying things that I made very poorly back when I didn't know what I was doing, and so that makes new stuff that I'm building just take forever and creates like a big headache sometimes. So the sooner you can learn how to put together like an overall game project, the better, because you don't have to be the most optimal thing in the world, but just a little bit of like pre-planning can really save you a lot of like headaches later, I would say. So but Boom streams are really amazing, and with all the crazy shit that's going on there, I'm surprised that, that their computer isn't constantly blowing up. So yeah, definitely not trying to be an elitist when it comes to like code shaming or what have you. It's just trying to help people avoid problems that I've had to run into personally.
Beppo says, I also disagree and agree with my own statement because Boom gets results and that's what's always the main goal. True, Beppo?
Yeah,
True.
whatever, like, because at the end of the day, what the person is seeing on the screen is all that matters. Like, it doesn't matter how much spaghetti is under that. My advice was really just to make things easier for you as a developer. But however you can get your project to work, like the final product is what matters. So, yeah, nothing wrong with being self-taught. It's just a matter of like making things easier for you as a developer.
Yeah, but the mild has a good point to Beppo. I mean, self-talk gets a bad rap. True, tutorials are always a good standard, but everyone has their own take on it. Good points, and it's all subjective because there's, like we're saying, there's really good tutorials that are really well thought out and well organized, and then there's really bad ones that just tell you to turn off your firewall, and yeah, that exists.
Well, and there's always like when you're making a tutorial, and like this is the experience with me, a lot of times you're trying to make it concise so you don't go into the stuff that those people would normally do, like make sure that that what they're making inherits from a class that they already have, make sure that you set up like a data table for something or what have you. It's not that the people making those tutorials don't know how to do those things. It's that they're trying to make a video that teaches you to do what they want to teach you how to do without like make it concise and to the point. So they'll cut corners, not necessarily because they are bad developers themselves, but just because they want to show you, they want to get to the point and be concise. And also just filming a tutorial and editing it together takes so much friggin' work that like I don't blame anybody for like cutting corners when it comes to best practices and stuff.
Yep. Alright, Chava asked a good question. He says, I wonder what influenced Fruitsy to this type of art. Gives me vibes of something back from my childhood, but I cannot pinpoint what. I will say you do have a art style and theme on your channel. Can you elaborate on it?
Yeah, I guess I was talking about like the Chow Garden and like Sonic Adventure and stuff, and I think a lot of my like color choices and environment like kind of takes cues from like kind of Dreamcast, GameCube eras of games. Like if you look back on old Dreamcast games, they relied on like things having solid like bright colors instead of relying on a lot of texture work. And I think I've been doing that for my stream, one, because I just am nostalgic for that kind of design, but also it speeds up development time, like adding new features. Because one problem is that if you make your assets, if you make one asset in your environment super realistic looking, like nanite 16K textures from like Quixel or what have you, you're kind of under pressure to make everything in your environment. Like it raises the bar to a point that is going to slow down development time significantly. So I like to keep things simple, both because I like simple, cute things, and because it doesn't take me a year of development time to add a new feature. I can model things like quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, also this type of stuff is actually a lot lighter than a lot of people realize. Um, nice. How do you balance the technical aspects of running your stream with the creative and interactive elements?
So, could you ask that again? I'm trying to kind of figure out how to approach this.
How do you balance the technical aspects of running your stream with the creative and interactive elements?
I guess that's sort of I sort of answered a little bit of that with what I was saying with like keeping the baseline of detail for assets in the environment simplified to like speed up development time. Um, uh, One of the other things that I think helps me keep like a balance is, well, I guess balance isn't the right word, but a lot of the stream is me making stuff for the stream and developing uh, new features for it. So generally, I'll be 3D modeling something on that screen over there, or we'll even be doing some blueprinting and such. And if somebody has a like technical issue with one of their slimes, like an animation gets broken, or if their hat looks bad on a new evolution because I didn't anticipate like what the hat was going to look like on a Seraph slime or whatever, we can actually like close the environment and then go into the code and like fix that stuff up. We can modify the save files to fix issues with the slimes. So I guess it's not so much a balancing thing as it just like pretty much the stream is about the stream is like the main thing that I'm doing while we're streaming. So maybe balance isn't a good word for it. Maybe it's like completely imbalanced because it's just this is always a work in progress. So
No, I think you've done a good job balancing it. Like you're not like you're consistent to your theme, which is smartly a Dreamcast slash GameCube era. That has that same look and feel, which is definitely a lot lighter as far as processing goes. So
yeah, because a lot of the assets that I make for the slimes in particular, those generally don't even have any lighting on them. I just set them to be unlit, and then I try to keep all the textures to like 128 by 128, both because it's good practice for me to like model and UV map like as efficiently as I can. Like it's good training for me. It's also lighter on the system, and it also just kind of contributes to this like these kind of art styles I have nostalgia for. So
yeah,
like turning off the texture filtering so that you can see hard pixels on the textures and stuff.
yeah,
So
Mild says I've been
yeah.
exploring taking my models over to really high definition with Unreal Engine, but on one machine combining the gaming and VR and running multiple programs while stream puts a lot of strain on one PC. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
like when I'm using Substance Painter and I want to like bake out textures, a lot of times I have to warn people, okay, we're gonna get some chugs right now while we're baking out the ambient occlusion maps. So yeah, it definitely is taxing on the computer. So that's fair.
Yeah, I think you've already answered. We're gonna go back into your Unreal Engine expertise, but I think you kind of answered this already. Can you tell us about your experience with Unreal Engine before you started using it for Twitch? Were you primarily focused on
Yeah,
game
I
development
guess I could go
or
into more detail.
other areas?
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah,
Yeah,
were
I
you?
guess I guess I can go into a little more detail about what I was talking about before. So one of my previous jobs was at a video production company, and we did a lot of the like tech and logistics for putting together live streams for clients. Like we were doing stuff for like Intel and Microsoft, and I think our main client was like Amazon's Prime Gaming thing back when they were spending a lot more money on like live stream shows and stuff for them. I was the main graphics person there, so I was making a lot of like
Oh,
lower thirds and frames and doing video editing and making stingers and
Hagu.
all that, and like making animated show openers and stuff. Um, so I was like the main graphics person there. And my boss at one point got interested in doing virtual production because he like saw like The Mandalorian uses this whole workflow that I was talking about, like having like a video screen behind them and then rendering the environment in Unreal Engine while the actors are performing in front of it. So he was interested in coming up with like a more like affordable, not Disney money version of that. We had like an like a LED screen, like a big video wall in our studio, and so he basically like put me in a room with that video wall and a computer and said, make the Mandalorian but cheap. And so I had to learn Unreal Engine like from scratch and figure out how to do like end display and set up
Damn.
the camera tracking system. And so it was a lot of learning by the seat of my pants. And this was stuff that I was doing. Like this is the stuff that I did with my free time after I um, finished my main like graphic design stuff.
Mhm.
So yeah, a lot of it was not learning how to use Unreal Engine for making games, but specifically learning how to use it for virtual production. So it's like I wasn't learning how to make a character take like input from a controller. I was learning how to like get a camera to be moved by a motion tracking device, and then um, creating a frustum that gets projected onto a screen. So just like weird shit there's not a lot of resources for online as far as learning how to do it. Um, so yeah, I sort of approached Unreal Engine from like a weird direction that I think most people like utilizing it learn, because most people use it for making games because it's a game engine, so which makes sense. Um, yeah, so that kind of got me before I started doing the VTubing. That was sort of what got me up to speed on using Unreal Engine for stuff.
Nice. And then Mild made the point. It's interesting seeing mainstream adopt UE production. They just had 2 actors from SpongeBob wear mocap suits and comment the Super Bowl. That's right. We saw SpongeBob and
Oh
Patrick.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah, and like they use virtual production a lot in sports stuff in general. Like if you see them. Oh, my hand tracker went out of on the fritz. Hang on a second. I need to be expressive when I talk. Let's see. There we go. We're back. But yeah, it's used in sports broadcasting a lot. With like, if you ever see like, oh, the guys are on the 50-yard line or whatever, and they'll like put text on the football field and like draw the line on the screen, and then that all moves when the camera moves, and it looks like it's actually drawn on the grass. They're generally using stuff like Unreal Engine to do those things. Like they'll have the cameras have motion trackers on them, and then have the computer figure out if they're looking at a football field with like a bunch of straight lines on it. That's a rectangle. It can calculate the angles that it's actually looking at the thing from, and then skew the graphics like accordingly. And a lot of times when they go to the announcers and they're sitting at a desk in a big like fancy studio, a lot of times the desk might be real, but everything else you're seeing is like Unreal Engine or some proprietary version of it that they made.
mm,
So yeah, next time you're watching sports stuff, try to like see if you can see any of the scuff if you look at it closely enough.
that's pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool. Alright, Unreal Engine offers a wide range of features. Which aspects of the engine do you find most useful for creating your interactive streaming experience?
I mean, I think Blueprint is the most helpful thing for me because I have a little bit of programming background. Like I know how to use C++, but not confidently enough to make like an entire game out of. So, but Blueprint has been really nice because it's like a visual scripting system. So, it kind of streamlines a lot of the development process. Like instead of having text to represent a function, you'll have a box that represents a function, and it'll have nodes in it that say like, this takes in a float, and it takes in a boolean, and then it spits out a vector, and you just like hook stuff into it. So it's really intuitive and quick to develop things for it, rather than like you gotta write you gotta define your class, and then you need to make a header file that knows how to use that oh, thank you for the blue hair. There's a lot less legwork that you need to do, and so that's really helped me develop things kind of in a more free form way, and I can even like develop like during a stream, which I would not be able to do if I were like typing in Visual Studio and like reading text in chat. It's nice to have more of the right side of my brain being utilized for development stuff. Yeah, so probably blueprinting is the most helpful thing feature of Unreal Engine when it comes to that. It has its downsides because you can't do like memory management and stuff, but you can always like define your classes in C++ to make them super efficient and use pointers and shit, and then you can bring that into Unreal and use blueprints for just the more free form like development stuff. And then animation retargeting is also very helpful. So like if you have a character and you want to use animations from another character from like Fortnite or whatever, if you can get those animations into Unreal and the character is similar enough, you can like project the animations from the original one onto your new one, and it's pretty good. So that can save you a whole lot of development time because you don't actually have to do a whole lot of hand animating, which is why another reason why it's helpful to have your character have the UE mannequin skeleton to make that process even more simple. So yeah, animation retargeting is another big feature that's helped me out quite a bit.
Alright, Chava says, also VR is getting into IRL sports. I think HoloLive just collaborated with the MLB game during the Dodgers game. That's right, we did see HoloLive at
Oh yeah.
an MLB game. Cool.
Yeah, it's like virtual impression is also really helpful for somebody with a smaller budget because you can, you don't have to like create a set. You know, you don't have to like fabricate like props and stuff. You can like if you don't have to have a video wall to do it. You could also do it with a green screen, and like composite it. But yeah, it's really helpful for just like doing stuff on a budget.
The visual effects of your characterization in your stream are impressive. Can you walk us through the workflow of building these elements in Unreal Engine?
Yeah, I guess I was answering that a little bit. Like, I model stuff in Blender, so I do that for the 3D modeling and the UV mapping and the texturing. And then once I have that set up, I'll bring the model into a program called Substance Painter. And generally what I'll do is I'll have like a low resolution version of the model that actually gets used in the game. And then I'll have like a high resolution version that I like sculpted details onto, and it has 1 billion polygons or whatever. And so you can take both of those things into Substance Painter and do something called baking. So what that will do is generate a bunch of textures for you that will make the low resolution model that's in the game look like the high resolution sculpt. And it has the benefits of not being made out of very many polygons, but you can make it look more or less the same as that super high poly version. And a lot of video games do that with like normal maps and things. And then those textures that you generate through baking can really help you make textures like you could use a filter that highlights all the edges of an object to make it look like there's like wear and tear on the corners of a box or what have you. Like you can use the textures that are baked as like a basis for like running a filter on top of the model. And yeah, so at that point I have the model, the animations, the skeleton, and the textures. And so I bring that into the content browser in Unreal, import the model and the textures, and then I create a material, and then create like material instances from those for other materials that are going to work in a very similar way, but just might have a different like color texture or a different normal map or what have you. And yeah, if it's a skeletal mesh, just set it up with like an animation blueprint, and like hook in the animations to like a state machine. And yeah, that's like the basic workflow for getting assets from like Blender into Unreal Engine. One thing that I'll note if you're using Blender and bringing things in Unreal Engine, before you start making the thing in the Blender project, set your unit scale to be centimeters instead of meters, because Unreal Engine uses centimeters, Blender uses meters by default. If you don't do that at the very beginning, your models are going to come into Unreal Engine at like a 100 times larger than they're supposed to be. The rig is going to get very messed up. So it's a lot. If you don't do that in the beginning, you're going to have a very bad time, because fixing that involves a lot of like unparent the model from the rig and then make the rig 100 times bigger and then apply the apply those transforms and then reattach the model to the. You don't want to do that. Just make sure your unit scale is like 0.01 meters before you do any of that stuff. So
Nice. Who's leaving? I don't think anyone's leaving already. I think we're all here. All right, let me ask you just a few more Unreal Engine questions, and then we'll transition to your Twitch goals. How do you handle unexpected technical issues during your stream? Do you have any fail-safe measures in place to keep the experience smooth for viewers?
yeah, I guess we were showing that off a little bit earlier when we got back to the fishing minigame. One of the slimes got their animation state kind of mixed up. They were like stuck in a pose. So they weren't jumping around normally. So I have a lot of commands like I'll type like exclamation point reset slime, and then I'll type in the name of the user, and then that will take the slime, despawn it from the scene, and then respawn it from the save file. So that will kind of reset their whole status. So that's one that I use a lot when there's like unexpected jank. And like I was saying earlier, I also like running the environment in the editor, because that allows me to like close the environment down, go into the blueprints, and like modify the save file for that particular slime to fix the way that they look, or just make little adjustments here and there, so I can do some like live troubleshooting and QA kind of stuff. And a lot of times when there's jank, I try to pass it off as something that's like in universe. Like, if one of the things that you can do is if you type in the name of a user, you can have your slime go over and dance with their slime. Like, let's see if I can actually do that, because I have my stream open. Give me a second here. And if I put in Ninja Gato, we can see if my slime goes over to yours. See, yeah, this is actually a good example. So sometimes the pathfinding fails. And so what I usually try to do is to make things seem smoother is go like, oh yeah, the slimes are just dumb, and so sometimes they can't find each other because they're stupid little guys. And so that I try to like paper over the fact that no, it's just my programming is bad. So sometimes I can, for like little jank here and there, I can like make it kind of fun and make it like in universe. So yeah, that's and I try to be like an open book when it comes to being the developer of what the people are seeing, and kind of letting people peek behind the curtain when I have to like go into the blueprints and fix things. People kind of like seeing behind the curtain, so I think it's not disruptive for the stream. It's just sort of taking the stream into like a different like mode or module, I guess. So yeah, that's how I try to balance jank with like keeping people immersed.
All right, and then what advice would you give to other VTubers who are interested in learning Unreal Engine but may not have a strong technical background?
I think we answered that already. I think you asked me that because I was going into my recommendations for like whether Unreal Engine is the right solution for what you want to do. I guess I can go into more detail about that.
Sure.
So before you start streaming, because Unreal Engine is the most advanced solution to VTubing pretty much, and so you want to make sure, like, sometimes the most advanced tool is not the right tool. like, you know, there's all this cool stuff that you can do with a Swiss Army knife, and then you can also open cans with it. But sometimes it's just better to use a can opener. um, oh, see, yeah, their animation is messed up. Let me actually fix them. Let's see.
Yeah, I'll
Reset
echo that. Like,
slimes.
if you want, if you're a VTuber and you're 2D, you don't have a very strong computer. I think it's okay to stay 2D. I mean, like, we see like Iron Mouse like crushing the VTuber space being 2D, and you know having her interactivities and stuff. And it's more about your content as opposed to the VTuber, because you can have the most advanced VTuber and go on stream and not have any riz and not get any viewers. So it's more like if you don't have the technology or the background, it's okay to stay 2D is my takeaway.
Yeah, like, because with Unreal, you're going to have to like reinvent the wheel and build a lot of your own stuff just to get like very basic things to be working, which is really nice if you're like ambitious with what you want to do. Like if you want the freedom to, like, you can make freaking Fortnite if you wanted to, because like if you boot up a video game and and the Unreal Engine logo fades in, anything that happens after that thing fades out, like you can do that. Like you're using the same tools as whatever studio made that game. In fact, you're probably using a more advanced version of it because they were using the version of Unreal that was available like when they started developing 2 years ago. So it's really cool to have this like AAA tool available to us for free. But like that being said, your project might not need that. So like there's tons of cool interactive stuff that you can like script in like Vignon. And so like when you're considering what tool to use for your project, I would like make a list of the things that you want to be able to do, like define the scope of your project, and then just decide what's the simplest way that I could do this? Do I need a Swiss Army knife, or could I use a can opener for this? You want to keep the scope of your project and the scope of the tools that you're using kind of like matched up with each other, if that makes sense.
Let's hope it stays pretty true, Beppo. That is a big point. Like a Paper Mario type thing, or is that what you're thinking of doing, Allred? Just having like a Paper Mario theme? It's
Oh,
more
like
2D.
maybe like a 2D thing in a 3D environment is maybe what they're talking about.
Maybe. Can you elaborate, Allred?
That's one thing I want to do is I have a PNG tuber that I use for when I'm doing the development mode, because I can't run this character and edit things in Unreal Engine the same time because I have one computer. And so like I'll bring up my PNG tuber that just bounces when I talk. And one of the redeems I'd like to do is like transform my character into my PNG tuber in the environment and have them like bounce up and down when I talk, sort of like a Paper Mario thing. Yeah, I guess all red is confirming what we were assuming they were saying. But yeah, that would be really fun.
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
sort of doing that with Ninja Gato actually. Like what I'm doing is that Ninja Gato is on a two-dimensional plane that's sitting on my desk and always facing the camera. But I'm bringing in his webcam feed, like a green screen thing. And so what you're seeing is just like a card with the Ninja Gato texture on it, and I can give him head scratches and stuff. So yeah, that's sort of a lot like what you're talking about, and that's definitely something you could do in Unreal Engine pretty simply. So yeah.
alright. Well, let's get talking about your channel. And what are your long-term goals for your Twitch channel?
I mean, the long-term goals are just to keep like adding new features. Like, why isn't Gato purring? Yeah, I think the world wants to know why you're not purring. Maybe I'm not petting you like quite effectively enough. But I guess we saw the fishing minigame earlier, which is like in like a pre-alpha state. So that's like the next big project I'm going to be doing. So what that's going to be is basically fishing and catching fish that are going to go into a fish tank that is probably going to be over where like those video game consoles are right now. And we'll have those fish have the name of the slime that caught them on them, and they'll be saved between streams. So we'll have like a whole nother little pet section of the stream. I think that'll be fun, because I just want to always come up with new ways to have people feel like they have a physical presence in the environment and they're having some kind of effect on it, which is like that's one of the reasons that I developed the like figurines, like gotcha machines, because I like the idea of people being able to decorate my desk. So yeah, so as far as like future plans, just coming up with new ideas to make people feel that way, like I'm inviting them into a little place. Um, yeah. So beyond that, I have another small feature that I was talking about where like Mandy is getting pretty close to growing a fruit on her head, and when that happens, the fruit gets tossed to the baby jail, and one of the slimes can eat it. And right now, that's all that happens. The slime just eats it and goes ahoy, and it's fun. But what I'm working on next is making it so that when that happens, the slime will poop out a little seed, and then that seed will grow into a little flower that blooms in the baby jail, and then like the petals of that flower will be the same color as their slime. So that's like another smaller feature that I'm adding.
Or
It would be really cool to somehow have a standalone like application or like a game or something that like communicates with the stream. Like maybe there's an offline component to the stream that like feeds into some kind of gameplay loop that like you could get a toy or something in that game, and then when you watch one of my streams, your slime will have that toy. It's something like that. That is pretty far beyond my pay grade of what I know how to do with Unreal Engine at this point, but it's definitely something I'm thinking about. So if anybody has any like ideas for that, I'm always listening. A lot of the directions the stream goes in terms of development is like directly from like feedback I get like during the streams from people. So I definitely value getting that input.
nice. Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
what is the lightning bolt that appeared above your head? All red. That the slimes have a little like emotion bubble. Like if anybody's played the Chow Gardens, like when they're happy, it'll be a little heart. If they're confused, it'll be a little question mark. So yeah, that's just like since the slimes don't have arms and legs, it's just a simple way of having them show emotions visually. So, oh, and thank you for watering Mandy. I'm sorry. It looks like she's growing a little orange maybe on her head.
Oh,
So, sorry, I think I
delicious.
interrupted you.
That's okay. Um, who or what inspires you in the VTubing community?
Yeah, I have a whole list of people I could go over. So yeah, just all the other Unreal Engine VTubers, and even people that are doing game engine-based VTubing, like whether it's with Unity. I've seen a lot of people use Godot as well. Um, so a couple of streamers that I really like is like Benicula Live is one of my favorite streamers. She's this cool like vampire streamer that uses they either use Vignon or they use Unity or some mix of the two. I'm not sure what her workflow is, but she has a lot of really fun interactive things that you can do with her redeems. And then she is also someone I really look up to in terms of being able to like manage a big amount of people in chat and respond to what people are saying and like always have something like funny or charming to say to make people like feel welcome, and like she makes it feel very effortless, and I feel like I need to go to a lot of effort to get that to work because again I'm a pretty shy person, so she's definitely someone I look up to when it comes to that. um, and then people there's also someone named Mordecai. Let me see if I can
Mordecai.
find them because I always forget how to spell their name. Let's see here. I think this is how you spell it. Yeah. So it would be
Ninjas, my ninjas.
MDX. Sorry, MDXCAI. But yeah, Mordecai uses Unity and has this really cool aesthetic where it's like a. Oh, sorry, let me mute him. But yeah, he had a lot of influence on how my like low poly mode looks. He's got this cool kind of like mouth just changes its texture in order to do animation kind of thing, like a old like PlayStation or like 3DS game kind of thing. And he inspired me to kind of make a environment that has like a consistent art style and like consistent theming. It like so that has an influence on me. And then let's see, people in the Unreal community that really inspire me are Boom. I've mentioned before. Boom is like I have like the most fun I think of like any stream hanging out in Boom's streams. She is always developing something new and crazy, and like the sheer amount of like output that she has in terms of like new things she's making is like really impressive to me. Like I don't know
Nice.
how she has time to do all that, but yeah, there's always something new there, always something really ambitious. So yeah, she's definitely an inspiration for what I'm trying to do. Um, Dead Sun Prime is another person that I really enjoy. You interviewed Dead Sun Prime a few weeks ago. He's probably the person I hang out with the most on Twitch, and he also uses Unreal Engine to do like really cool interactive stuff. He has like a whole spaceship with a whole universe outside of it, and you can spawn like legally distinct space invaders outside of the window, and you can fire cannons with emotes to like pew pew at them, blow them up, and there's like a score that gets kept on your
Alien Arcade.
on like a leaderboard. Um, so just like very ambitious. And Dead Sun also is a really talented 3D modeler and texturer. And like he's definitely been a big influence on me trying to step up my game when it comes to making assets in my environment look a lot nicer. Things used to look a lot more basic in here. My laptop Arnomicon used to just pretty much be like a cube with a simple texture on it, but I decided to learn how to use Substance Painter to like pretty it up and things. So he's definitely an influence on me just trying to make things look as nice as possible. He keeps me on my toes when it comes to that. Riku VR is also somebody that that I look up to a lot. A lot of the same reasons I look up to Boom. Things aren't as batshit insane in there as it is with Boom, but there's definitely like a silly participatory energy that I really like. And he's always developing something new that's like really fun. Yeah, I mean, I could keep going on. I guess Mega Mocap is another person I'd like to mention. I mentioned earlier that Mega Mocap has like a GitHub with like a Unreal project that has a bunch of motion tracking like components and modules in it that can help get you started with Unreal Engine. Like you don't have to reinvent the wheel on like taking in live link data from an iPhone to drive morph targets. Like a lot of that is built for you. As well as like hand tracking with leap motions, like Vive trackers, like whatever motion tracking devices you have, odds are that project will have something in there built for you to like get started with. So that's definitely a resource that I would utilize. Um, yeah, I mean, I could keep going on about people that I admire. Oh yeah, another person I want to mention is Space Buffoon. Space Buffoon is a VTuber that does these things called lore streams, where it is a story like this, like Star Wars-ish kind of space opera thing that every stream is like a new episode of that, where they go to like a new planet and they meet like a new type of creature there that they need to ally with in order to fight this like fascist space government, like eco-terrorism kind of thing. And it is
Nice.
like a semi-improvised thing that takes into account what people are saying in chat and like polls and stuff to like do a choose your own adventure thing to like move along the story in different directions. And they're like even making new art to represent things like live on air. And I really admire their dedication, like world building and making it all participatory and fun and cute. So yeah, definitely in terms of like making my environment have like lore and stuff. The Space Buffoon's definitely someone I look up to. Noodle Cat Does Things is also one of my friends on here. Uses Unreal Engine to do really fun stuff. They have this. Let me see. Yeah, Noodle Cat Does Things is that avatar on the left. It's sort of what it says on the tin. It's a noodle and a cat at the same time. And they have a lot of really fun redeems where you can like change the like coat that they have. You can make them a calico. You could make them a tuxedo cat. You can put all kinds of costumes and stuff on them. And yeah, so Noodle Cat was definitely an influence in terms of like coming up with fun ways to mess with my avatar, and just like making things like aesthetically cute. Let's see. I'm sure I'm forgetting a bunch of people.
It's
And
okay.
if oh yeah, Andrew Arcade is also somebody I'd like to mention. Yeah, Andrew Arcade has. If you like the slime system that I'm doing, Andrew Arcade has a similar system where you can have like a little robot and you can customize the way that they look. You can swap out their parts, and I like Andrew Arcade streams because of just like the sheer production value of it. Like it looks like I think he has a team of people helping make like the art, and Captain Steel Pants helping him like doing the blueprinting. It was another person I'd recommend checking out, Captain Steel Pants. But yeah, he has like this whole friggin' world that the robots like hang out in, and they'll do like they'll like ride bikes, and they'll like buy things from vending machines, and they'll do all these ambient little things that are going on in the background during their streams. And so that's definitely an influence on me in terms of like having the slimes just do random stuff in the background. Like they have their own little routines that they do. So yeah, if you like what I'm doing, I would definitely check out Andrew Arcade if you want to see like a higher production value version of what I'm doing. So yeah, I'm probably forgetting a ton of people, but those are the people that come to mind right now.
Wow, you have a lot of inspirations. Nice. All right. Is there anything else you'd like to share with your viewers or the wider Twitch community?
I don't know. I guess. Yeah, I guess I don't have anything like specific that I'd like to share beyond what I've been talking about because I'm a pretty open book when it comes to things. So yeah, I would just if you'd like to know more about what I do, if you'd like to just hang out, I'd really like to see you in my streams.
Mhm.
And yeah, you should also definitely check out the Unreal VTubers user group. I think if you go in Ninjagato's
Yep, I'm a part of the
about
team.
section, there'll be a link to Unreal VTubers, and that'll be like a whole group that collects all the people doing what we're doing into one place. And you should definitely check out people on that list because you'll find somebody that is doing things similar to what me and Ninjagato are doing, but like in all different kinds of like shapes and styles and colors and personalities. And you'll definitely find somebody that whose like vibe, I guess, as the kids would say, kind of aligns with yours. So yeah, definitely check that out.
Oh,
Um,
Beppo asked a question. It was talking about the last guy that you were plugging. Is that the guy that Unreal Engine interviewed on their Twitch channel? I love that
Yeah,
stream
I think so.
because
Yeah, Unreal Engine did a interview with Andrew Arcade a couple of months ago, and he actually shouted me out during that, which was very. I
that's
got
cool.
followed by Unreal Engine because of that, which was very fun. I want Unreal Engine to come into my stream and get a slime. I just think that'd be very funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like Andrew Arcade quite a bit. You should definitely check them out.
Yeah, that Unreal Engine should check out our entire team. There's like tons of content there
Yeah.
they probably didn't even realize.
I would also look for other people that are doing stuff with Unity and uh, um, Godot as well, because there are a lot of people that are just doing like software and development stuff using all kinds of game engines because they're all tools for doing kind of the same thing. I'm not like a tribalist when it comes to which game engine people use. I guess a couple of other people, like I mentioned, Mordecai. Morse Amalgam is another person that's doing really cool stuff with Godot in terms of like Twitch interactions and things. Yeah, I would definitely like check out the software and development section of Twitch and just kind of scroll through and see if you see any VTubers on there, and you'll definitely find somebody that you're inspired by or learn from. So yeah.
Okay. Also, any like uh, future collabs or plugs you want to do for stuff that's upcoming?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people in the Unreal VTuber community are wanting to do more collabs. Dead Sun Prime is definitely somebody you should keep your eye on because he and I have been trying to do more collabs lately, and Dead Sun's got some really cool ideas when it comes to like pushing the boundaries of what's possible with collabing. He's one of the things he's developing is a movie theater that he can invite other VTubers to do like a Mystery Science Theater 3000 kind of like you know, commenting on
Nice.
public domain movies that we're all watching together. And he's trying to come up with ways to like import people's characters in real time into the environments. And he and
That's
I have
gonna be a lot
done
of fun.
that a couple of times in different ways. And that's definitely something I'm really interested in as far as like collabing, like having this kind of like shared cinematic universe kind of thing for like game engine VTubers. So yeah, definitely keep an eye on what Dead Sun Prime is developing in terms of that, because yeah, I'm interested to see what he cooks up.
Also, you and Dead Sun play a lot of Fortnite together.
Yeah, pretty much any time I'm playing Fortnite is just to hang out with Dead Sun, and also um, uh, Temporal Nix is on there a lot. I get to play with Mega Mocap sometimes. I used to play with Griffamore on there. Griffamore's been taking a break from streaming lately. But yeah, it's just I like the people that I'm hanging out with in Fortnite more than I actually like Fortnite. I'm usually spending time getting headshotted and then just doing dances and shit. So more so than doing the jumpy shooty. I'm not too good at that part.
I need to
So
practice. I need to join you guys. I've only played Fortnite a handful of times, and I'm god awful. I'm terrible.
yeah, you should join us sometime. I definitely like to play some Fortnite with you.
Nice, nice. All right, awesome. All right, Gatos. Any last questions for Fruitsy? Well, they type up their questions, so yes, type up your questions for Fruitsy right now. But I will give you a silly question for now. If you could travel anywhere, you know, no cost, no PTO type of impacts, where would you travel to right now?
So I went to school in Japan when I was in college for a few months. It's like it'd be really cool to go back there again. One of the places that I was in Tokyo, and one of the places that, for some bizarre reason, I never ended up visiting was Osaka. Like I'd really like to visit Osaka because it's like it's on like the other side of the country and has a completely different culture, and like some of the best food in the country is there. So I've been kicking myself for the past like decade or so that I didn't go to fucking Osaka. So yeah, definitely that would be cool. It'd be fun to go to Ireland, just because of how pretty it is. It'd be fun to visit like Angkor Wat or some place in Southeast Asia where they have all those cool like Buddhist like architectures like stupas and things. I've always liked seeing that kind of architecture. And then I'd like to visit Australia sometimes because I know some folks there like Temporal Nix, and it'd be fun to visit them. Um, and then there's all the weird ass animals there that I'd like to see.
Alright.
But yeah,
Alright.
I think Japan would probably again be my first priority.
Japan, then Australia. Awesome. Alright, Beppo wants to know, was there a reason for Disney Junior aesthetic other than ease of modeling?
Let's see. Was there a reason for the Disney Junior aesthetic over other than the ease of modeling? Yeah, I just like to keep things simple because I have a lot of nostalgia for like older video games. Like I think the era I have the most nostalgia for like Super Nintendo and then early 3D like Nintendo 64, PlayStation, like Dreamcast and GameCube are kind of the cutoff mark for kind of what I'm nostalgic for, I guess. But yeah, just there's also a lot of like Steven Universe influence here. I also was talking about FroostyCollins earlier, and a lot of the like space stuff and the stars stuff and the general kind of like outer space world building stuff comes from like the P-Funk mythos. Um, so yeah, it's an amalgamation of a lot of different like art styles coming together.
Chava says, I noticed a few sound snippets from retro games, Final Fantasy and Chrono Trigger maybe. Are you into RPGs? Asked Chava.
Yeah, I used to play a lot of JRPGs. Chrono Trigger is one of my favorite games. I also like Xenogears a lot. Yeah, so just a lot of. I've been wanting to go back and play some more obscure JRPGs like Shining Force and like Ogre Battle and all those things because I watch a lot of videos on YouTube about like obscure JRPGs that I might have missed. So I definitely want to go back and experience more of those. So yeah, a lot of the sound effects that I use in here are specifically from Chrono Trigger. A lot of the spells that slimes know how to do. Let me have my boy Goop do a spell. Let's see. Oh, wait a minute. He was supposed to do a spell. Hang on.
Shining Force was fun. Nice.
There we go. Yeah, so a lot of the sound effects for the spells come from Chrono Trigger specifically.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm not a sound person, so I rip off sounds from Super Nintendo games.
Nice. Java recognizes it as Chrono Trigger, and then Just Made Ninjas made the comment about battle royales. You either die in the first few minutes or spend the entire time not seeing anyone, then randomly get sniped at the last minute smash. Yes.
Yep. It eventually just turns into a sniper battle, which I'm not very good at. I like in Fortnite, I always have the most fun doing the dumb gimmicky shit that people aren't expecting. Like, a while back, there was they had hoverboards and rocket launchers at the same time, and one of the things I like to do was have a rocket launcher while I'm flying over to somebody on my hoverboard and then shooting them with the rocket point blank, which would knock my ass away from them, so I could get it, so I could just like do a hit and run. And it was fun because people weren't expecting it coming out of my dumb ass. So yeah, anytime that I do well in Fortnite is just doing stupid shit people aren't expecting, and I like that it has those kind of things. But yeah, I'm definitely not good at the jumpy shooty snipery stuff, the stuff that like actually make you good at video games. So
Oh, the heart activated my blend champ. Got heart eyes. Okay. Any last questions before we say bye to YouTube and do our fake outro? Any other question, Gatos? I will ask.
I was wondering maybe if we have time to do a slime race, because I kind of wanted to show that off to people. But if we're strapped for time, that's we can skip that.
Can we do it after we say bye to YouTube?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Pagu. Yeah, we're gonna do a slime race. We're gonna do a slime race. Gatos. Are you pagan or just like the style? Says Beppo.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm not very religious, but yeah, oh my goodness, no, I'm low poly. But yeah, I guess as a witch, I would be considered pagan. So sometimes I don't know whether to answer a question in or out of fiction. So yeah, not super spiritual. And as a witch, I'm gonna be going to hell anyway, so I guess it doesn't really matter who I worship.
I gotcha. Okay. All right. With that, I think we're gonna do the fake outro, and we're gonna say bye to YouTube. So let me get my stream ending overlay. So everyone say bye, YouTube. It was great having you, YouTube.
Bye, YouTube.
It was so fun. Where's my stream ending? Where's my stream ending? There it is. Let me snooze this ad. See you later,
Careful
YouTube.
with that big ass Riku.
Remember, I'm gonna link all of Fruitsy's socials under this video, so remember to go check them out and like, comment, and subscribe, and go play the games in Fruitsy's channel. I promise you guys, they're a lot of fun.
Smash that bell, click that like.
Yep.